Okay, so I'm Grasswalker. Hello and welcome to the second to final, the penultimate game of the entire group stage. We have Sirius AI on the dire side against the default Valve hardbots. Now this game is really important because both of these teams are already in the upper bracket. It's guaranteed because they have 2 wins. But whichever team wins this will be facing off against the easier of the teams in the upper bracket. They will have the preferential upper bracket treatment, like the upper bracket, if that makes sense. After this game, we have Pub Support Simulator and Ranked Matchmaking deciding who's going home. So let's just hide the state of Group D. We can see them there. Valve default hard with more kills and more deaths, whereas Sirius playing a little bit of a cleaner game. Will that get them the win today? Oh shit, I'm in this lobby. I need to create a broadcast channel and start the lobby. Toggle this so that I don't have to see myself. And a Centaur War Runner loading screen. Does that mean we will be seeing a Centaur in this game? Probably not. The chances are slim. I didn't make a note of who's who. I believe it's Valve Radiant versus Sirius on the Dire. My short-term memory is horrific. So, it looks like for the default bots we have Windrunner, Brow Ranger, Zeus, Sand King, and Crystal Maiden. I don't think any of these are bad picks, and we just saw the default bots get a win with Drow, so picking something they are comfortable on and just won on keeps that momentum going. And I think they'll be quite pleased with that. Meanwhile, on the Dire side, we have Witch Doctor, Tusk, Pangolier, Ancient Apparition, and Spectre. Spectre is a beautiful late game carry, but the bots do not seem to use Spectre well at all. I have not seen good Spectre play this tournament. Especially in our off-lane Spectre play. Some of this lane selection is a bit sus. So Sirius AI sending an off-lane Spectre, and anytime I see Spectre use Haunt, it's a little bit of, I mean, they call it ear rape, but we should probably stop calling it that because that's a little bit of a problematic term, but Sirius AI putting a Spectre out here, and hopefully they don't do the Haunt shenanigans where they just Haunt from hero to hero 100 times a second and do nothing during the Haunt. In terms of safe lane, we've got Tusk and AA. Wouldn't consider either. I mean, I would flip these lanes. Spectre Witch Doctor is a great safe lane. Tusk AA is a great off lane.
30 seconds to battle.
Tango mid is a good choice. This is the one hero that is, I would say, in the right place on the Dire side. Everyone else is a little bit wrong. Then for Valve's default hard bots, we have Sand King, Crystal Maiden in the off lane. I think that's a fine lane. Zeus mid, classic. Can't go wrong with it. Is he going to be using Heavenly Jump? Hard to know. He might do, he might not. They are the Valve bots, so they probably should use it, but there's no guarantees. Drow Windrunner in the safe lane. This is a spicy duo. I've actually played this lane before, back in the days when I used to play 5 Windrunner in almost every game. I mean, I would basically play Windrunner in every game, and what lane I got sent to is what lane I got sent to. Because back in the old days, you didn't have ranked role selection, and someone had to first pick, and people didn't like first picking, so I just first picked Windrunner, and if they sent me mid, they sent me mid. If they made me solo off lane, they made me solo off lane. Whatever happened, happened. But I have played Windrunner Drow in a safe lane before, so I feel strangely qualified to be able to talk about this. It definitely wasn't against Spectre Witch Doctor. You've got 2 ranged heroes against a melee offlaner. That's a very bad use of Windrun right there. That range creep deny is huge from the Witch Doctor. That's going to provide a very interesting XP swing. Ranger? Spectre, bricked. But Windrunner's dying to the creeps more than the Spectre's dying to the right clicks. That's not great. Looking mid. Zeus doing his best to last hit here. He is top of the leaderboard at the minute. You imagine Pango's going to struggle for maybe 1 or 2 levels and then get better, but the same could be said for Zeus, really. Crystal Maiden already harassed back to the fountain once, but this might be a blessing in disguise, because if there's one thing Sand King enjoys having, it's levels.
So are you supposed to be some...
Keep an eye on mid. Zeus, 1 level up for now, but this wave will die. Ooh, the D-Ward from Zeus, he accidentally gets it, and that gives him 100 gold and a huge influx of XP. Spicy! Sirius AI getting punished for being a team that tries to ward up the mid. Where is Zeus going? Picks up a water rune, but I mean, he doesn't lose any creeps, thankfully. He doesn't lose a single creep. So it wasn't that bad of an exchange, but he looks like he should be able to CS all of these if he plays it right. Could have been using Arc Lightning here. Isn't. Should have been. Wind and Drow have harassed the Witch Doctor to base. He had to go heal up. And now they're pushing the Spectre further and further away from the lane. There's 5 CS to Drow 6. So Spectre, she's doing fine down here, really. Not your usual offlaner, but an acceptable degree. All of these creeps just dying to other creeps. The CS not really occurring. Another range creep to die from the Witch Doctor. He's a cheeky man. Does some cheeky stuff. CM doesn't have Crystal Nova. That's like her laning skill. That's what you want to have if you're going to lane. Tanking, struggling to get his level 3.
Every coin helps.
XP hugely in favour of AA and Tuscan. They go in. Tusk snowballing in.
This'll come in handy.
Tag team, it's up. That's some heavy right clicks. Sand King has to back out and use the Sandstorm. I feel like you could have used one or the other. Both not necessary. Crystal Maiden steals a bounty rune, but during this time, Sand King is dying. Have a look back mid, see how that lane's developing. Both heroes at full health, so it looks like an exchange of farm. 13 CS for the Zeus, 11 for the Pango. They're both happy to just chill out, get some money. Tusk dominating the Sand King, 10 to 4. And Drow and Spectre are still neck and neck, but you've got this cheeky Witch Doctor who's 5 and 10. Windrunner's 0 and 3. I'm favouring the Dire off lane here. They're getting more out of the map. It looks to me
I don't think so.
as though Dire might just be winning all 3 lanes. The mid is even at best, but I do think the Pango is just that touch ahead. I don't know why, because he's behind on everything really, but I feel like he's just that touch. Look at net worth, see if... No, he is a 200 gold behind, so I'm just talking garbage. So, an even lane for the mid, very slightly Radiant favoured. But the side lanes both won by the Dire. Sirius AI off to a good start. No first blood yet, which makes me nervous that we're going to miss it. Drow did end up low. I was trying to keep an eye on all of the action. CM. That AA hits so hard. Frost on frost violence. Sand King not really offering anything to the lane right now. Snowball's on the wrong hero, really. Tag team's up. Here's the huge right clicks coming onto the CM, but the stun, the Burrow Strike, keeps him away. CM TPing in the middle of everybody. Gets away with it. Drow struggling now as she's had to abandon the lane for the 2nd time. Spectre not pulling ahead on CS though. The Witch Doctor is. Mid still even. What does Radiant need to do to try and win this game? To come top of the group, prove themselves worthy? I think they need to start taking control of these lanes. Maybe do a rotation, get this Zeus ult, get it online, get it used. Got 2 full health heroes here, got 2 full health heroes here. Pango's in danger if the Zeus wants to.
I'll take that.
Even
Steals the
I
bounty.
like a
We're
good
looking at
ball.
3 bounty runes for the Radiant side. Looks like they've got every bounty of the game except for one that Spectre picked up. That will help stem the bleeding of the CS trouble. Spectre now beginning to pull away from the Drow, but only by 2. Meanwhile, we've got a snowball. It's onto the Sand King again. I would like to see them snowball the CM. She's the squishy of the 2 heroes. Sand King could Sandstorm to protect himself, but is choosing not to. AA sort of single-handedly zoning both heroes out of the lane, and that's giving Tusk a free game. 20 CS on him. Frostbite onto the Tusk. I mean, there's 2 cold heroes up here. I don't think they care about the CM. Where's our safe lane Tusk, the difference maker for this game? Can he ball out of control? I mean, he could. I could see a Tusk running around this game getting solo kills. Zeus kind of jungling a small camp. If he's going to do that, I'd like him to commit and see if he can actually get a neutral item off this. If Zeus picks up something like a Keen Optic, that's game-changing for Zeus. Fairy Fire, another amazing choice. Zeus running up here to gank. It's 3-on-1. The AA's up behind. Zeus ult. It's popped. AA, he's low. He's just inside Burrow Strike range. I feel like he is. Oh, Sand King has to give up on it. First gank of the game failed, but I'm glad that they went for it. Drow, however, dies bot. We missed that following the wrong action on the map. That's your first blood. Basically all in the hands of the Witch Doctor. Maledict, Cask, and some right clicks must have just took Drow down, and Drow's having a garbage game at this point. 15 CS at 8 minutes, multiple lane abandon moments. He's level 4, hasn't finished her treads. Drow's not having a great game. We'll move over to net worth. CS, not quite relevant anymore.
Not this time.
Drow's game's not as bad as I expected. She's the lowest CS of all the cores, but at least she's up there with the cores. I think most critically, it's her level that is so far behind. Like, you're trying to man up here, Shackle's off the mark. Cask bounces, but it runs out of bounces soon enough. Doctor Sal's himself up. Spectre's just too tanky to do anything to. Tanking. His game's not been good, actually. Have a look at the last hits. I mean, yeah. He's not really getting any farm at all. Side lanes being crushed a little bit. I mean, now they've got right clicks onto the Drow. It's Phase versus Treads. The Spectre should run faster. 435 versus 340. Drow runs back in. If you wanted any hope of living, running back in was not the way to do it. Huge shackle. Now that's a good shackle. A little bit wasted though. There's no follow-up available.
No.
Tusk 33 CS to the 6 of the Sand King. Sand King probably not going to be a factor in this game for a long time unless he gets some kind of huge fight off, but the way that Sand King likes to get a huge fight off is with a Blink Dagger, and he's saving up 1,000 gold. You have to imagine he's saving for that Blink Dagger, but he's so far away from it. Another question to think about, Pango, he's probably going for the Maelstrom, but I haven't seen Pango use a single spell or ability yet. Is this hero scripted? I'm not saying it's a new hero. Pango's been out now for quite a few years, but the bots on average are very outdated. Zeus, due to ganking and abandoning the lane a few times, is falling behind on CS. Pango really starting to get ahead on that. Windrunner not really able to do anything in this lane. Old Talisman Chainmail boots. Looks like she's finishing her phase boots.
You'll get the next one.
A bit of lightning. I'd like to see the Zeus get the D-Ward again. He must know where it is. Ooh, just wait for this to run out and then ult him. EP out from the Pango. Zeus, he knows that ward's there, but does he have the intelligence to Lightning Bolt to finish it off? Looks like he's forgotten. The bots, they very quickly forget what they can't see. No neutral items for either team. We're likely not to see either team get neutral items. Shackle off the mark on the Doctor, but he turns around for the Maledict. You're not the team dealing damage here. Windrunner gives the ult, and that's a kill on the Witch Doctor. Very well done. Meanwhile, Sanking is frozen, he's getting right-clicked. He's dusted! That gives Tusk the chance to chase. Decides not to. Tusk has a Ring of Health. I'm not sure what that's going to be. Maybe a Vanguard, but... Caught the Drow, low HP, running around in the jungle. She's dead again. 0-2 for the Drow.
This'll come in handy.
Her net worth is... Where is she? Below the Windrunner. That's not a sign of a good lane. Zeus, he might feel emboldened to Lightning Bolt when he sees this Pango. Will reveal the ward, which will let him get the D ward, which will let him get another 200 gold in his pockets, which will put him top of the leaderboard, but he doesn't do any of that. Instead, it's Windrunner, windrunning away from an attack. Spectre has begun. TP's out, should be fine here. Then, Sanking getting dove. It looks like Dire's making aggressive moves in every single lane, beginning to force the Radiant Heroes out of the map. The lead expanding in their favour. CM! Huge ult! She sees that the Tusk is a little bit too far up, and she just freezes and ults him. And he dies. That's the highest net worth hero on the map, dying to the second lowest. Oh, unfortunately it's only a 300 gold swing, but it does stop the Tusk. Wow, she's finally hit 6, but the Spectre's 8. Marksmanship will proc sometimes. Let's keep an eye on Zeus in the mid lane. 1 level behind the Pango. Yeah, making aggressive moves on the Tusk. She's like, I killed you once. Ooh, Ice Path, way off the mark. Ice Path? Ice Shards. Pango, hoping for that 14-minute rune. Not for him. An illusion, it's in the other lane. They went in on the Spectre, but Spectre's way too tanky to die. Bolt from the Zeus, but the ward is gone now. They'll pick up the illusion rune. There are dire wards effectively on every cliff surface you can imagine, including sort of this backstab area of the tier 1. Pango, he uses the first spell of the game, but he bounces himself in the wrong direction. Drow looks like she'll pop to the Maledict anyway. Pango, I mean, I want to look at what the Windrunner's doing, but I also want to look at the Pango just rolling around in circles. Pango, clearly not capable of good rolls. Huge shackle. Gives Windrunner the chance to run away, but she runs back in, and now she's probably going to die for that. Spectre doesn't have the mana, actually, to dagger. Doctor doesn't have the range to cast, but Windrunner runs back in again. Just get out. If you're trying to get out, stay out.
Cold and
AA killed. Looks like, I mean, it's hard to say what it looks like. None of the skills are on cooldown. That's the Drow death. Okay, you got Frostbite, Burrow Strike, and that's the death of an AA because AA only has 800 health. 3 dire heroes at the top of the net worth area, but Zeus is keeping them at bay. He's got the #1 spot. Maelstrom picked up for the Pango. That'll help him accelerate his farm, moving into the mid game. Drow's got the high ground advantage, but it's not very good. Ooh, Pango with the roll. Rolls away. Tusk. Tanking the tower. He doesn't give a shit. He's got a Vanguard. Was a Vanguard for him. That's another kill on the Drow, who is now 0-4. All 4 dire kills on the Drow. We've got Spectre running in, but she's very tanky. CM with the ult, not quite enough to finish the Spectre. They cancel the CM's ult. Zeus is here. He's bolting the AA. The AA dies. Tusky just has a Vanguard. It makes him tanky, but it doesn't mean he doesn't really do any damage. Finds the CM. She roots him and runs. That's a cheeky little 1-for-1 top. Hard to say who it favours. And yeah, I mean, the gold difference was 8, so no clear favourite whatsoever. Tusk without any mana, struggling to really have a purpose. Windrunner getting forced out of mid lane. She's not really allowed to stay there. Drow just wants to sit and farm bot. She needs a chance to recover in this game. Oh, we missed the kill on the Windrunner. I thought she was out, but she must have turned to go back in. Now we've got Burrow Strike, Epi on the Spectre. Is it enough? Oh, he's still got a little bit of health. He's got 30 health. The Pango jumps in. Sand King, he's revealed because he's low health. Zeus, however, looks like he's getting a right click onto the Pango. Kills him during the roll. He realizes all of my spells don't pierce the roll immunity, so I'm just going to right click him twice. And now that is a favourable trade for the Radiant side. Witch Doctor solo farm bot, that's good for him. AA solo farm mid, that's good for him. Tusk solo farm top, that's great for him. And we're seeing the economy of the Dire side, Sirius AI, getting the most out of the map here. Tag team, I don't know if that does anything if you don't have a friend. I don't play Tusk, so I don't really know what his spells do. CM pops the ult that kills the Tusk. Witch Doctor, here comes the ward, that's what you're scared of. Frostblast from the AA goes way off the map. Zeus maledicting to death. And here's the question, right? The Ice Blast was thrown and I saw it go all the way off the map here. It looks to me like Pango doesn't know how to use his roll and AA doesn't know how to use his blast. Is the Dire side, Sirius AI, are they going to be in trouble over the course of this game when they don't really understand how to use their spells? Great game for the CM, 4-0. They're trying to defend this tower. They have the glyph, which they do use. Epicenter's way on cooldown. Power shot onto 4. Sand King, he's stunned. He's dead before he gets a single spell off. Oh no, Bangle is stuck. Tier 1 tower, slowing this fight down. No one's really doing any damage. The Zeus turns up, he's a source of damage. Please click the ult, it'll burst them all down. It's looking like it wants to be a triple kill. Zeus, just give him Arc Lightning and ult, please. So clearly favoured to be a Zeus fight if he just wanted it. I think this AA is still in the kill range at 250. Zeus's ult, 425 damage. Would have easily been a good triple kill for him. Even now he could ult and get a double kill. Just doesn't seem to want it. Zeus, just bolt the Spectre and ult. Please. Come on! Dagger onto the Zeus. He's running away, but he should be killing him. Oh no. Link? Link Zeus? Link Shadow Fiend I can understand. Oh, there goes the Zeus ult. That kills the Pango and earns Zeus 450 gold. And it also enables the team to jump onto this Tusk. It puts the Tusk at about 10% health. It's a huge CM ult. CM ult versus the Witch Doctor ult. Who's gonna win? CM wins. It's a double kill for her. She's 7-0 now. AA's like, oh shit, I'm gonna hide in my Shadow Amulet. CM, second most farmed here on the Radiant side. More farmed than the offlaner, more farmed than the safe laner. Favors the Dire though. I mean, you have to factor in the Pango, right? The Pango's part of that. Maybe he did just kind of get Zeus ulted here, but I feel like the Pango's part of that. Look like we're getting a Kaya on the Zeus. Decent choice. Could have been worse. Item-wise, Drow struggling to get a Yasha. Crystal Maiden wants Ags, and I cannot blame her. Windrunner seems to want a Maelstrom. 2 Vanguards on the Dire side. Zeus is going in, but he's not tanky enough to deal with that. He could jump out, but it doesn't seem to know that his jump is an ability. Ooh, huge shackle onto the Spectre. Give him the Burrow Strike, don't let him get away. Yes, lovely. And the Spectre slowly but surely will die. Oh my god, it's a double maledict! Double maledict into the little Witch Doctor ward. What's it called? The Death Ward. Gets him a double kill. And that's a massacre. They're getting the top lane as well. Drow looks like she's gonna die when the snowball hits on her. Sure enough, she's dead too. Valve's hardbot, sorry, getting crushed in this mid game. Multiple bad fights. Crystal Maiden, she's being rolled on. In comes the Pango, shield crash soon to follow. He has it available. Ooh. She does die. Sand King jumps in, shackle. They clean up the tusk. He overstayed his welcome, but that's kind of like a pity prize at the end of that fight. Still favours the Dire. Money into the pockets of Zeus and Sand King compared to all into Pango. Oh my god, it's a maledict into the Witch Doctor again. Huge epicenter, but it's just not enough. Triple kill from the Witch Doctor. I hope he starts going towards an Ags, because this guy is absolutely bombing it. Now bear in mind, Witch Doctor as a hero, I believe, is 4-0 in this group stage. Witch Doctor hasn't lost a game, I don't think. The hero is really good. It's simple to use. It makes sense. You can't really get it wrong, and the bots don't respect the Death Ward properly. Dire Heroes 4 in the top 5. Beginning to start crushing this game. CM way out of position. She's dead. Huge power shot combined with the tower. Huge shackle. That's the Pango dead. It's a trade. Burrow Strike on 2. They're stuck under the tier 2 tower. Another huge power shot onto the AA. But now the dust onto the Sand King. He's too low. He can't take this. Power shot finishes it off. Can Windrunner get away? Windrunner mostly wasted. The duration used up by the Walrus Punch. He's stuck in the air. Zeus, he could just like do anything other than run towards a small camp, but he's dead now because of that. No one made that Zeus do any of what he just did. Anything would have been better. If he just stood here and arc lightning the creeps, that would have been better. And it looks like Drow gets a solo kill on the Witch Doctor. The sneaky solo kill in the back line. I'd love to see her jungle right now. Get some neutral items up for your team.
Dire's structures are fortified.
17-minute items are available, as are the 7-minute items. She could really be upgrading her entire team right now, but is choosing not to. Arms out 3 creeps, give or take. Looks like she might miss that one, though she gets them all. So 150 gold in the pocket of the Drow, and some building damage. Sirius AI slow on the rotation. Spectre's here, but all she has is Blade Mail Vanguard. Ooh. A8 throws the blast, but it's like he doesn't actually release the blast. Tanking though decides to feed. So we're in a weird game here because Sirius AI has picked some heroes it doesn't really know how to play. Whereas Valve's hardbot, it seems like it knows how to play everything except the Zeus, but it's just not having a good game. In terms of items, watch this tier 1 die on this side of the map. Also we talk about Pango's new Diffusal Blade. Tusk's Echo Saber, so now he's starting to do damage. AA, probably a 4-staff. Spectre, more and more defensive items. Blade Mail and Vanguard, very defensive. He finished his Kaya, but nothing that new's coming along. Looks like he wants a Bloodstone, which only works... I mean, they might have changed it, but it only works if it's your team the one that's getting kills. Pango. Uses the roll TP out. He's gone. But that opens the door to a big fight bot. Pincing from every direction. Radiant wants to find the perfect way to initiate this fight. Sand King is invis. The dust's there. That's the worst way to start this fight. Death Ward wasted, however. Spectre, though, with a blade mail, is just clearing them all out. It's a massacre. They killed themselves on the blade mail. An easy team wipe. Team wipe. The Sirius AI. 3k gold swing, and now it is their game. They shouldn't lose this from here. Of course, they still need to do the challenge that is breaking the base, but this tier 2 is definitely dead. That leads the way to picking up the outpost. That leads to map domination. They could get a cheeky bit of a push here now, but I don't think they're going to rack them right now. Then again, they're still pushing. All Radiant heroes up in 4 seconds. They're following in with the creep wave. Windrunner's a great D-push hero. Zeus ult, a little bit shit. Huge burst onto the Windrunner. Here comes the Death Ward. They don't really have an answer for it. 2 heroes are dead immediately. Oh, Zeus and Drow running outside of the base. They're about to find themselves in the middle of 4 heroes. You can't walk like that. Positioning not appropriate from the hard bots. And it's another team wipe. And another 2,000 gold swing. Putting this graph further and further into the desperation mode. Now they can think about a Rex. Instead of running up here as heroes are respawning in 2 to 3 seconds, they're dead for half a minute. All 4 of these heroes were hitting this tower. It would definitely die. But unfortunately it's only the Spectre who is pushing. And if you've got one of your 4 heroes pushing and the tower's at half, Windrunner, huge power shot. That can help with the D-push. CM just needs to use a Nova. Maledict Death Ward. Every time they respawn, the Death Ward's back up. And here's a double kill for the Witch Doctor again. He's the MVP of this game. He's also the most valuable hero in this game. 11,000 net worth. Do we have fantasy points? No. That makes me sad. The push for racks, unfortunately not going to happen. They find the Witch Doctor. But you want to be careful, because if you chase this guy for too long, his Death Ward's up in 30 seconds, and you might be thinking, that's all a bit of a joke. What do you mean a chase for 30 seconds? He has the Glimmer Cape.
Silence.
Zeus has a way to detect that Glimmer Cape. But all of a sudden, we're watching, it's down to 15, and Zeus, the Witch Doctor does get away. Now it looks like he's baiting them in. Death Ward up in 5 seconds. Tries to take the outpost. AA Blast flying across the map, but I really want to know how this works. Like, if he just chooses not to release it, does just nothing happen? Zeus ults, reveals the Witch Doctor, but I don't think Witch Doctor cares too much if you use 5 heroes to kill him once. The rest of the heroes taken out of tier 2 mid.
Regeneration.
I'll take your tribute.
I mean, it's a good moment. It's a 1.5k gold swing. Wow. It's a little bit of a swing back in the right direction, but you're going to need
middle tower has fallen.
a lot of those. Zeus does jungle up a Titan Sliver and an Ocean Heart.
Precious bounty.
Zeus jungling up a Titan Sliver and an Ocean Heart could be a difference maker this game, because you're looking at these heroes and you're like, ah, Spectre, 3k gold ahead. How much is a Titan Sliver worth? Would people pay 2,500 gold for a Titan Sliver? I think they would. Drought hitting the Blade Mail. Not very clever there. Blade Mail runs out though. They find them. They're really struggling to kill this Spectre. I mean, she's not even playing the game right now and she's about to get a triple kill. She's AFK as they kill themselves on her. I mean, she dies, but if she was playing the game, that's an easy triple for her. 1 for 2 against an AFK hero. It's not looking good. Windrunner has an Ogre Axe, potentially BKB, potentially the start of an Ags. Hard to predict what the bots like to build. Ocean Heart in the hands of the Drow Ranger will give her +5 to all attributes. Now listen here, when your health is 1240, 5 strength, I think that's 50. I don't know how the health is calculated. I feel like it's about 20 health per strength. Wind immediately dead. Drow running out of the base. Wants the Pango kill, but now she's hitting the Tusk. That's not going to work, buddy. CM immediately. The ult is cancelled. Out comes the Witch Doctor ult. Maledict, she's dead. Drow walks into the... They give Witch Doctor another double kill. They run out of the base again. You've got to stop feeding if you want to win the game, Valve. These hard bots are not proving to be a hard task. Sirius AI crushing them. Zeus gets a cheeky kill. He even blinks so that Tusk is stuck deep in the base, but this Tusk is very tanky. Vanguard, Echo, Basher, Ogre X, he even got a couple of things. I mean, oh, the fountain will hurt you though, sir. Windrunner could shackle him. She does! Tusk's kind of stranded in no man's land now. He's tanking tier 3 shots from the tower. Tower shots off the mark, but the tower might just be enough anyway. Oh, he's at like 30 health. Windrunner, she really wants this. She knows how low he is. Shackle, power shot, gets the kill. That's 1,000 gold into the pockets of the Windrunner. Meanwhile, Pango dies. Here. I think that was part of the thing. Witch Doctor. Has he got his ult? It's available. The silence runs out. Oh, he wastes it! The Death Ward wasted. Sanking's dead. But Drow, she can probably man up on this Witch Doctor. The CM's there to help as well. He's invis, but he's going to become uninvis. Oh, he turns himself into a Death Ward. A Witch Doctor living there is... that's a ride. The lead stabilizing. It stopped falling. There's a stable lead at about 10 to 12k. Zeus finds the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor doesn't have any ults, but he doesn't need them. He's got a Spectre to help him out. And with pickoffs like that, the lead will continue to grow for Sirius AI. Began stagnating for a little bit. 3 Radiant Heroes pushing mid. Not sure what they're going to achieve by doing this. But let's join along for the ride. 35 minutes in and no one's broken a base yet. No racks have fallen. The game's not over until the Ancient falls. We've seen comebacks. We've seen teams down 2 racks and they win. This is a tier 2, it's dead.
Dire's middle tower has
Sirius
fallen.
AI too busy grouping top to do anything about the heroes that have already fully pushed into mid. They're hitting the high ground now. Here comes a TP back. Pango looking to defend. I do not like what the Radiant Heroes are doing right now, but this dive, I mean, is it going to work? They're getting good damage onto the Pango. The Pango dies.
I'm fantastic!
Windrunner's running to the enemy fountain. But she's wind running, so she's not taking any damage from the towers or the heroes. She's TPing behind the tree. That's very cheeky. Drow's left here a little bit all alone. If Drow doesn't get out in the next couple of seconds, she will die. And there is the death of the Drow. Ooh! AA used his skill! That's the first we've seen of that. Great job, AA. And for a moment, the graph begins swinging back towards Valve hard bots. And this, of course, raises the question, right? Looking at this graph, is this... I mean, it's clearly not a stomp by Sirius AI. You get up to about 15 minutes and it's pretty much dead even. Then they start pulling away with it, but they don't completely pull away with it. There is stabilization. It raises the question, is Sirius AI as good as the unfair bots?
Dire's structures
The hard
are
bots are
fortified.
decent. But they play fair. Windrunner, she's got a BKB up. She's altered the Tusk, but Tusk is really tanky. Tanking and Zeus are in a weird spot. Sure enough, they get jumped by 4 heroes. Sand King's dead. Soon the Zeus will be dead. The Atos keeps them still. The Hardbots are not going to win if they keep playing like this. But, is there hope for Valve? Would the unfair bots prove a bigger challenge for Sirius AI? Would the unfair bots win against Sirius AI? That's what I'm interested to learn. Tusk. Pushing out mid. Tusk's like, guys, please. For the love of God, can we just push a lane and get a Rax? Trying to clear out the creeps first. I'd love if he just ran on the high ground and hit the buildings. You can see that no one's there because of the creeps. Windrunner, she gets back here. Tackles the Tusk. Everyone's hitting the buildings. Windrunner, she is probably dead. She is. BKB'd CM with a huge Aghanim's ult. It's actually decimating all of them. Drow kills off the Tusk. Witch Doctor, he's finally not silenced. The Death Ward can come out, but all it does is it clears an illusion. Drow runs back into it. The tower will fall
Radiant's middle tower
to
has
3v3 now that the Zeus has respawned. Sand King has his epicenter, but the problem is the way Sand King plays is you want to epicenter first, then blink in. Bots don't understand that you should do it that way. And Dire is forced out of the base. Whether or not creeps will continue the push is hard to say. They are going to jump the Zeus. He's dead. Sand King and Drow both in an awkward place now. Drow in the most awkward place of all. She just starts manning up, but she's dead. Manta style, not what you want to do. That just gives the stun away. Looking as the push. How is the push going? Depends how this range creep ends up going. Range creep does die, so it's 2 range creeps against 1. This lane will begin pushing that way. But you look like you're about to lose a Rax. Ooh! An instant cancel of the Death Ward. All he has left is the Voodoo Switcheroo. Doesn't matter though. Too little, too late. Both tier 3s down. Windrunner TPing up here. That's like game-losing behavior. She picks up a bounty rune, but what does that matter? Rax in all lanes beginning to fall. Catapult's doing the most of the pushing. The heroes not too willing to hit the buildings. Now they start hitting the buildings.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Looks like they want the ranged barracks, but they should really be clearing out this building right here. The melee barracks, of course, far more important than the ranged barracks. Zeus is trying to de-push top where the tower is at 25 HP. Melee Rax in the mid lane falls as well. That's a Echo Shell on the Spectre. She's BKB'd up. They roll in on the Tusk. It's a howling ultimate from the CM. She's got Ags. It's massacring their whole enemy team, but it's a triple kill for the CM. She does get punished in the end. Pango jumps in and finishes her off. It's a 3 for 3. CM dying, of course, but now buying back. And if you just click Sandstorm, I think you'd be okay because none of these heroes... Oh, AA does have Dust, but it's a little bit deep for him. CM runs in, but he pigpoles himself. I was wondering who had a Scythe. No, he did that to himself. Diacide has accidentally jungled himself a Paladin Sword on the Tusk. That is huge. Now, Paladin Sword, that's an item that is easily worth 3,000 gold. Oh, Pango just putting himself in pig form, but that's not a good thing to do all the time. Sand King wasted his Burrow Strike earlier, but he has one now. Is he going to use it? He doesn't! There was a moment there where he could have interrupted that. TP out from the Pango, and he's gone. However, the double damage AA... I mean, nobody cares about your double damage, buddy. He ran up here thinking he was a cool kid, but he is dead. I mean, the graph is going to swing in their favour. And this will be a fight that is 1,000 in their favour. Factoring in the Witch Doctor and the Spectre kills as well. Probably more so. But I do not think this is enough to come back. Even if they push mid with this double catapult and get a Rax, you're still a Rax down in the top lane. Tango, a great hero to defend, but not when he picks himself. Okay, let's see. Shield crash in. CM's using her ult. Most people are magic immune. Looks like a 1-for-1 trade so far. Down goes the Pango. Out comes the Death Ward, but it's cancelled quite quickly. How much is this Maledict ticking for? Not very much. The push at the very least is deterred. Spectre wants a bit more. Doesn't have a basher. That cask. I mean, I think that cask's going to chase her to the base. I feel like we're going to see a cask fly in. And bonk!
Dire structures are fortified.
I saw the shadow of it fly over the throne and I'm like, wait a second, is that just a shadow of one of these butterflies? Sure enough. Drow hasted, but there's nothing to do right here. Second to lowest net worth hero in the entire game, your Drow. Yet to finish a BKB 40 minutes into the game. Zeus one shot in the middle lane. Drow can't man up on this. Witch Doctor could easily solo kill her. Runs away, wants to do a bit of D-pushing. It does look to be a foregone conclusion that Sirius AI will win this. However, we've seen comebacks from worse. We saw, I think it was Army Bots, I believe, took 2 racks against Edge AI, and Edge AI got the win. So 2 racks has been I mean, it's only 1.5. 1.5 racks has been come back from in this tournament so far. Even in Group D, we saw a team come back after being raxed in 1 lane. This game feels a little bit harder to claw back. I would be very impressed if the Valve bots bring this back, but I do not think they will. Looks like somebody's going in on somebody up top. TP in from the Spectre. BKB's Blade Mails, the Drow's killing herself. She's doing more damage to herself than she is to the Spectre. Oh, what a beautiful shackle. That's 4 seconds of disable on both heroes. But they just man up. CM, she can ult all that she likes. Actually, this CM ult's huge. It's a triple kill for the Windrunner, but most of the damage I feel is provided by the CM and the tier 1 falls. The comeback begins. That's a 3k gold swing. Buyback on the Spectre. And that Spectre buyback cost an additional 1,700 gold. Can't wait for that swing to start animating. If they clear up this tier 2, which it looks like they will, Spectre ult. She's swapping between all of her ults. Huge Witch Doctor ult, but it's cancelled! The shackle! The Windrunner doesn't want to let it happen, but unfortunately the damage is just too much. And it's all there. They spotted the Crystal Maiden. They dagger her. 2k swing back the other way. Just as it was starting to fly up, falls back down. Sirius walking around the Roche pit, but I don't think they're going to Roche. Creeps hitting the tier 4s. They clear out the second barracks.
Just what
So the next push that has creeps involved will be even tougher. It's a catapult wave because it's 45 minutes.
Bounty.
Dire at the very least is going to clear out Radiance catapults and say, listen, even if you wipe us, we're not letting you have a catapult push. But this wave right here, this wave right here, this huge wave right here, these are very dangerous waves with the catapults inside of them. Super Creep's able to do like 15 damage to a tier 4. Now you've got the Super Creeps with the catapults. So look at the difference now. That catapult's hitting a building, don't mind that. This tower, instead of taking like 15 damage and all the creeps are dead, now we're looking at the whole tower is dead. Sirius AI looking like they're going to go for a throne. Meanwhile, picking up the outpost, that's not going to help you. Pushing top, that's not going to help you. They're in your base, they're hitting your throne. None of the bots seem to have a script that just says, if your throne gets hit, TP back and defend. They don't care. It looks to be all over. We saw it coming, but there was a sign of life here and there from Valve's hard bots. They were not as good as Sirius at any point in this game, I don't think. They showed moments of promise, but they lost both side lanes quite hard, and the mid lane was even. Those lanes then devolved into a very bad mid game for the Valve hard bots. And a bad mid game turns into a horrific late game and a loss. Pick our MVPs once the end screen loads in. I don't know why it's taken so long to load in these end screens. You're on an SSD. My entire operating system doesn't take this long to load. I don't care about this. Why would I care about this? Get off my screen. Dire victory. I think your MVP of the game is the Witch Doctor. That man was killing everybody. He had at least 6 fights where he got a double kill. His death wards defined this game. Windrunner, I think, might get the other one, or Crystal Maiden. If you look at the KDA, the Crystal Maiden's a lot better. But I do feel like the Windrunner had a couple of cheeky plays that might put her up there. Let's take a look at some more stats to help decide. Neutral items sort of accidentally picked up a few on both sides, but neither took a deliberate effort to get any. I would say the neutral items here do favour the Dire side, but they're not using them properly. Brigand's Blade on an AA, that doesn't make sense. Paladin Sword on the Tusk's great. It really benefits his passive regen, healing, lifesteal, everything like that. Giving him, like, bashing, abyssal, echo lifesteal makes him hard to kill. Pig pole on Pango, you can't say no to it, but he did pig himself most of the time. Zeus with the Sliver, complete waste there. Ocean Heart on the Drow, I mean, it's +5 stats, but that's less than a Wraith Band after the 25-minute mark. In terms of damage, looking at Crystal Maiden carrying the team, and then on the other hand of things, Witch Doctor carrying the team. Having seen the damage numbers, we're definitely going to give Crystal Maiden the MVP. The way that she carried the fight, she got kills on everyone, so did the Windrunner, to be fair. But that Crystal Maiden did her best. At no point was the Valve bots winning this game. It was very even until the 20-minute mark, which is the sign of a relatively even and good game. And then Valve bots just turned up the aggression, picked things up, took good fight after good fight after good fight. We had a few moments where we thought a comeback might happen, where we saw a triple kill or a quad kill in the base, but too many times the Valve bots were just picked off way out of position. See, the laning stage heavily favoured the Dire heroes. They won every lane. Didn't win mid, but I would say probably broke even mid. You see that the Zeus is a couple hundred ahead here and there, but that's just one creep wave, it doesn't make a difference. This at the 20-minute mark, I feel like shows the story of this game. There were just too many Dire heroes that mattered, and not enough Radiant heroes that mattered. Zeus did matter, but he wasn't using some of his skills, and that's causing a problem, and then it was just a matter of when are you going to end the game. Despite that, we have one game left in Group D to see who is getting eliminated from the tournament. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you in that one next. Bye.